So this title is not meant to be clickbait or in any way disrespectful, but we must address a foundational issue which we constantly hear misused and aim to state our case why that is regarding now. So our main ask here is to listen to this with an open mind because this is a very basic spiritual concept and is not hard to understand, nor should it in any way be controversial. The only reason it's either of those things is because of thousands of years of patriarchal theocratic marketing that has people deep in Plato's cave. The concept is that it is incorrect to refer to God as a he or him, yet almost everyone seems to do it. We, of course, expect this misuse from thousands of years of dogmatists, but we recently visited a Freemasonic lodge, which we consider a more sophisticated group, and even heard it used, or what we could say is misused, by an individual there. If you happen to visit a Masonic temple inside a lodge in your life, or even just look at photos of one online, you'll see the floor is usually a black and white checkerboard tile pattern. This is a symbolic representation of the binary material world, with the luminance of black and white tiles representing polar opposites on the floor, where on Earth we have night and day, moon and sun, female and male, negative and positive electric poles, etc. Think of your soul as a ball of light, within each of us piloting our meat suits, meaning our fleshy bodies. While our bodies only exist in the binary material world and will one day fail and become worm food, an adjacent basic spiritual teaching is that our souls are eternal, and after many lives will eventually graduate from the binary into unity, where those binaries merge into equilibrium and our souls melt back into the divine light, of which each is a branch. Now, binary means the opposite ends, which are not all or nothing. There is a spectrum in between. And just as nature is the ultimate teacher, it shows us that day transitions gradually into night and gets gradually darker and gradually brighter. Between the symbolic colors of black and white, there exists a gradient of all shades of gray. Now we know this one is going to piss off anyone in a fundamentalist religion, such as the extreme Christian right, and as a result will likely turn comments on this off. Because fundamentalist cults attract very young, immature, spiritually undeveloped souls which see things only in stark binaries and don't have any interest in their members' spiritual self-development, like we're teaching you a tiny bit of now, but instead turning their flock only into an extreme polarized political bloc, which we can back up by highlighting that it's common to hear from them and any other extreme religious ideology throughout the world the phrase, "we're good and they're evil," when speaking of those they disagree with. While more spiritually advanced and sophisticated souls see things as the shades of gray, and as they continue to advance, the more they move towards middle gray of perfect equilibrium. This is also one of the reasons why democracy is the human enactment of a spiritual idea, that not only do all souls have value and should have a system which works on behalf of all of them, and that decisions that lead to the most liberty on a societal level happen within a system that seeks a middle ground through compromise. This is also why the Christian right is currently the largest threat to democracy in the United States, because they don't want compromise. They want to only use their extreme way, which is very far out on the edge of a political binary, to rule and have absolute power. So with this very basic concept of lower, less advanced polarity to higher, more advanced unity being stated, how can a supreme being, which one could call source or the divine or God, which is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent, that exists in unity, have only one half of the sexual binary? It would not. Instead, it is an equal combination of both, with its female aspect having no less importance than its male aspect, and vice versa. It has perfect equilibrium between the two and has graduated beyond the binary. This is a teaching to show us that women and men have complete equal value, with neither having greater or lesser value, and the name of the game of thousands of years of empire has been to claim that the male aspect is superior, while the female is inferior, which is incorrect and why fictional corporeal white Caucasian God got a fictional celestial penis. A divine creator does not have a corporeal body and can instead be more accurately described as non-binary multidimensional energy. So if we ever sell t-shirts at the store of our website, the first one would say, God is non-binary, which is accurate. Now, as an epilogue to this, speaking of genitalia, at the time of this writing, the term non-binary is catnip for regressive reactionary hate. So to be fair, this natural law also applies to human meat suits in binary reality. While our personalities can have a gradient mix of masculine and feminine gender aspects, as those very much do have fluidity, With the exception of a 1 in a million baby that is born with hermaphroditic-like genitalia, our sexual genitalia can really only be female or male. So if someone is homosexual and transgender, and their meat suit was born as a male and they want to transition into a female, or was born as a female and want to transition into a male, it is also incorrect for them to claim that they are non-binary, which is not possible in the binary material. Sexual reassignment can be a multi-year-long process, not to mention an expensive one which many cannot ever afford to complete, which initially begins in youth with thoughts and feelings, then adjustments to fashion, then hormone treatments, then sexual reassignment surgery if completed. And one may look very hybridized between the two sexes for years. But our meat suit sexual organs are only going to be one or the other, female or male. So a more accurate way to say it, and a way that is not untruthful on legal documents, is to simply say that one is a female transitioning to a male, or a male transitioning to a female. No big deal. Since our documentaries can take years to make, these insights were created with the goal of us being on camera providing you more consistent content. They are independently made and often feel for us like throwing a Kleenex into the Grand Canyon alone while surrounded by tumbleweeds. So if you find values in these shorter insights, please do the usual things that favor the Ghost in the Machine algorithms. We never run any ads, so also consider navigating over to our overarching website, nilesheckman.org, where you can acquire our longer form content such as our films or narrated essays bundled in volumes, or even become an annual member for a very modest fee. Cheers for watching and or listening.